You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Ben Amin and Tatiana Keene Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros, the show where the bros are fans. Doodle.
And welcome, Internet, to a new podcast brought to you by For All Nerds, covering all things Star Wars from the perspective of people of color. Here, as always, where our motto is inclusion is revolution. It is one of your hosts, Tatiana King, a.k.a. Lambo Calrissian, Gucci Mandalorian, Gin and Juice Urso, and Good Grief Karga. As always, I am joined by my incredible co-host.
It's your boy, DJ Ben Amin, a.k.a. Lando Californication, a.k.a. Lionel Richie, like it says on the shirt, baby.
Well, let's get a good look at that shirt before you continue with the AKAs. That should go hard. I love it.
Yeah, that's it from my AKAs. I'm done after that.
Okay. Yes, we are here. We told y'all we would do it. We are going to talk about Star Wars teens. We'll come up with an interesting title later, but we are here to talk all things The Mandalorian. You know, your favorite podcast ever. We got the first two eps of the season 3 of The Mandalorian. Ben, I mean, were you excited about season 3 coming back?
Yeah, definitely. I was. Even though I had some reservations, let's say, because after Book of Boba Fett turned into Mandalorian Part 2, I guess that's 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. And then it was also because not only did it turn into 2.5, it kind of just erased everything that had happened in 1 and 2, because it's like he drops off Grogu with Luke. That's the last you see of him on The Mandalorian.
Right.
And so unless you're watching Book of Boba Fett, you don't even know that Grogu is now back with the Din Djarin, the Mando. Because in Book of Boba Fett, you know, he goes and gets him back.
And,
you know, Grogu didn't want to be a Jedi anymore. They called him up and was like, yo, come get this kid.
And I had to read about it because I refused to watch
Wow.
Book of Boba Fett. Because I watched the first 2 episodes and was like, nah.
I mean, it was... It like, the first 2 weren't the best, but it had some good stuff in there. And then...
Maybe.
And then the stuff... No, I mean, overall, it had some cool stuff. And then it turned into Mandalorian 2.5, which was really cool, but also really weird because it felt like they didn't know what to do with Book of Boba Fett. And at the same time, kind of maybe they don't know what to do with Mandalorian.
They didn't know what to do with Book of Boba Fett. Sure, read like it the first 2 episodes. I fell asleep. And after that, I was like, I'm good. It didn't feel like something that was intrinsic to my understanding of the Star Wars universe. It just felt like some sideshow stuff, and it was boring. Again, I only watched the first 2, so I couldn't get into it. So I didn't know about anything that actually went on. I read about it later.
I mean, understandable. And you know, and it was really weird because it's like, it's really weird, especially once you've seen the first episode of 3, because it felt like that was a lot of table setting for 3. You know, that was like, okay, we're going to set everything up so when we go to 3, we can get right to it. But then episode 1 of 3 is like a whole lot of table setting as well, where it's like, let's introduce all these new things and let's get Mando on this new side mission and this other side mission. And then, you know, we'll give him a main mission as well for this season. But it's like you already kind of did that with Book of Boba Fett, because you already said, okay, here, this is what he's doing. He's back with Grogu. Boom, boom, boom. The other thing is his ship got blown up. I know that might have been surprising to you because now he's got a new ship. He went and got a new ship in Book of Boba Fett. This is...
Here's the thing, Ben, and this is what I'm trying to know or understand about the show. What is the purpose, okay? And when I say what is the purpose, I mean, what was the purpose past season 1? At this point, is it just you see as a cash cow? Everyone loves Grogu. All right. Everyone loves Mando. Okay, which I do. But are you existing to tell me a story or are you existing to make money? And I guess the answer is in the question.
Both.
Are you though? Like it's
Kinda.
it's okay. I gave you, when we first started watching Mando, I think it was really season 2. I gave you the analogy that, hey, this felt very much like a game, like very much about you go. This is an RPG, and this is just a series of side quests, sure. But then to just keep doing it because that's just the thing to do, it feels very like Final Fantasy to me. Like after a while, for example, using Final Fantasy example, it was just coming out because it had to come out. Like it was just part of the cycle of seasons, right? There's spring, fall, summer, and it's just like, all right, here's a new year. Season. You got to do, it's time for Final Fantasy. It's time for Final Fantasy. Like, is there any true, and granted there are in Final Fantasy, but like after a while, it just felt like, yo, you're just doing this because this is part of the machine versus are you trying to give me more creativity? Something that I really, truly needed in my life from an art form. And again, I understand this is entertainment, but I'm just like, yo, like, it's I don't know. It's giving big side quest vibes. And so far, it's one big side quest. And I don't know if there's a main story here. I don't know.
I've been thinking about it since I watched the first 2 episodes, and I feel you 1,000%, right? And having watched the first 2 episodes, I even felt like the first episode is a lot of side quest that is immediately nullified by the second episode.
And it's just like,
and pointlessly. And it's like, no one even checks my man on it.
Ben, you saying that, I gotta stop you.
Okay.
You saying that, you telling me they repeated what happened for 2 seasons in 2 episodes. You said you did one thing in 2 seasons and then completely nullify it. Now you're telling me they did it again 1 episode.
I mean, pretty much. At least they only wasted 1 episode instead of, 2 whole seasons. And that's still the question because people even check Mando in the first episode about it, right? They're like, yo, I thought you got rid of this kid. And now you back with this kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's complicated, and it's a cute little Facebook joke, or whatever. But it's
Facebook joke.
I mean, that's what I got from it. I was like, the relationship status is now complicated.
Oh, God. A Facebook joke in 2023? Jesus.
I mean, look, there was a lot of jokes in this that were like, in 2023, that's using your head was another one that was like, I mean, I laughed.
Some 80s shit.
Yo, fam. I mean, dog, Arnold couldn't have said that one better, baby. That's using your head.
No, yeah.
Yeah, he would have said it better.
Yeah.
That's using your head.
This is more of an observation than a complaint. It's just because I like the next person. I love seeing Grogu. I love Mando. I love the relationship. It's just, what's the reason? Like I really felt season 1 or season 2.
We was done, right? That was
like
it.
we was done. I thought like Luke fucking Skywalker took the baby. Luke, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like to me it felt, and again there was clear allusions to it. It felt like in Rogue One, the fucking big bad or big good, whatever the fuck you want to call him, the thing appears to end the story, and it's like, got it, bam. I don't need the shit no more. You don't gotta tell me how somebody grew up on the salt flats of Raider 2. Like I don't need to know that side shit, right? Like you got me to where I needed to be. Cool. Let's go to another story. With the wealth and the breadth and the depth of any story you can fucking tell in Star Wars, I was just like, why are we coming back here?
Like, okay, because the show started off obviously as a homage to Lone Wolf and Cub. So when you get rid of the Cub, do you just do the Lone Wolf story? And
the story's over. Why?
Or do you just call it a wrap after 2 seasons of what you were saying?
They did, to me, it's like you literally you brought yourself to the end of the Matrix. You reinserted yourself to the end of the Matrix. It was not supposed to reset. They fucking reset the Matrix. Like I was just like, we're doing this again. It's just
I'm like, what is this man's end game right now?
That's
like,
what I'm saying. When does it end? And that's why I'm like, it doesn't feel like a natural continuance of what would potentially happen with these characters. It feels like the machine said, "This
Give me money."
Right. The machine said,
This prints money. We gotta keep this going.
"Put another Neo in there. We gotta keep this shit going." That's what that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, and that's what I mean. Am I happy to see them? Yeah, sure. But it's also just like, this feels disingenuous. Like, y'all erased several, and it's not like y'all, at least so far, y'all erased and took away with what happened to say, oh no, the story's gonna continue. But you're not giving me nothing like that's worth continuing.
Not only are you not giving me nothing that's worth continuing, well, okay, that's debatable. So far, because I have a theory about what this season could be about that would redeem even these first 2 episodes.
You gotta redeem. Like, you got a lot of work to redeem.
But it wouldn't take too much. All right. But I'll get to that in a second, right? But right now, it feels... Yeah, it feels completely pointless right now. It's like, what?
They didn't ignore Luke Skywalker. They ignored OP Luke Skywalker. Like, the fucking granddaddy version.
I mean, I figured that was the end of little Grogu right there. I figured Grogu had survived one Jedi Temple slaughtering only to die when the next Jedi Temple gets burned up.
When the younglings.
When Luke... No.
Well, not younglings, excuse me.
He survived that slaughter of the younglings.
Correct.
Grogu already survived that. But I figured Grogu died when Kylo Ren went buck. And Grogu was over there, like, what the fuck?
When he went buck the second time.
Yeah, because remember, Kylo Ren goes buck at Luke's new school at some point.
I forgot about that.
And Grogu was supposed to be there, but Grogu dipped out of that.
Wouldn't be a baby at that point.
No, but he would still be there. And he'd be like, yo, what the fuck, Kylo? And, Kylo probably stabbed his little ass.
I was imagining little Grogu saying, hey, yo, what the fuck? Oh, man.
Yo, Kylo, what the fuck, Kylo?
What the fuck? I'd like to interrogate.
Wait. I still have a question. Like, what is Mando's plan?
What's the point?
Mando's plan right now is like, yo, I'm gonna get my Mando on. I'm gonna be a Mandalorian again. But what is your plan with this kid?
He's just his father.
So they just gonna roll together for the rest of the time?
Yeah. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, the mission was done. The mission, protect the kid, deliver it to the Skywalker. Okay. The mission is over. What mission? There is no main mission anymore. These are all the side. The game is at 75%, and you're going back to the areas you completed already to get all the little side shit you missed the first time so you could do 100. Cute. But that's not the main thing.
But on that note, would Joel, let's say he gets Ellie, speaking of everyone who watches and listens to our Last of Us, The Lack of Us podcast, make sure you check it out on all four All Nerds feeds. But with Joel, let's say he gets Ellie to wherever they're supposed to get to for the 50th time, Princess in Another Castle. He gets into the final castle. Would he be like, all right, and then dip? Or would he sit around and wait for Ellie to be experimented on, till the end of time? I think he would sit around and wait. So the fact that, my man couldn't sit around and wait at the Jedi Temple, he had to be like, yo, fuck that then. All right. And the kid don't want to stay there. We out. Kid's coming with me. This is my kid.
Again, I just felt a level of disingenuousness of
this my powerful kid who I don't know what to do with.
This is disingenuous in terms of this isn't something that happened to the characters because it was naturally happening. It's a machine. Executive said, no, let's run this shit back. Let's spin the block on this shit several times over. Like, that's how I feel. It feels like an executive said, no, we spin the block on this. It just, because, again, like, the levels of emotion that went into it. Again, fuck Luke Skywalker. How about that? Nigga took off his helmet. Nigga declared all everlasting love for this thing. And then just to be like, all right, we back to it. What?
No, let's go back to Luke Skywalker for a second. Remember, Luke Skywalker just witnessed the death of Darth Vader, his father.
Right.
Who had turned to the dark side because he was a kid who was not trained well in the usage of the Force.
And did not have the high ground.
And so now you have...
And hate sand.
And so now you have Grogu, who is a kid very powerful in the use of the Force, And you're just trying to be like, all right, you go about your way and figure this shit out, homie.
Let's talk about the actual episodes, Ben. I mean,
All right.
yeah, we saw episode 1. We saw episode 1 and 2. Pedro Pascal has returned as Din Djarin. Carl Weathers is back as Grief Karga. You got a whole bunch of other niggas in here. Boca Town's back. Boca Town is back.
Shout out Boca Town.
Yo, let me just say this first.
The only reason I'm still watching this shit.
I love I love Boca Town as a character. I personally love Katie Sackhoff as the actor playing Boca Town because. Go ahead.
No, I keep telling you, Clone Wars and Rebels.
Oh, I know. I got it.
Your love for this woman would be like every time
exponential.
Because I know it. Like the reason why she looks so distraught and why she is so sick, at this nigga walking around with this fucking sword.
She's
is
sick.
Because of and I'll say that the revelation in episode 2 of Mandalorian of Mandalore. Fuck.
Mandalore. Yeah.
When you've seen it in Rebels, and like Clone Wars, when you saw it before the bombings,
and I will say that this is also, as Ben is pointing out, like if you have that additional context of Clone Wars, this hits even more differently,
which is kind of a problem at the same time.
Yeah. But listen, let me finish about Katie real quick. Katie Sackhoff as the actor for Bo Katan. Katie always had a soft spot in my heart because she plays Starbuck on the 2000s, Battlestar Galactica. And Battlestar Galactica, the 2000s, has always been in my top, like one of the top shows, sci-fi shows, like of all time for me. So, I always loved her. So I've never forgotten her face. So anything she popped up since then, I would be like in her face. So for her to do this, I was like, yo, that's my nigga. Da, da, da. So I'm really happy she's here.
Yeah, well, as Boca Town, that's what I never watched Battlestar. I should. I know it's a classic. But Boca Town is up there with Ahsoka Tano. Like, it's Rebels and Clone Wars are just some of the best Star Wars ever. And they created these characters. And even the way they're reconciling the whole idea, because when you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, the Mandalorians take their helmets off all the goddamn time, no problem. So how they reconciled it with these children of the Watch being this whole separate little cult that Din Djarin is part of is so ill. And even the dark saber, all of this stuff all comes from this. So yeah, there's this additional context. And Dave Filoni has been telling this larger story for a long time. He's the man behind all of this. And I actually saw a really hilarious meme about this, right? And that's one of the kind of issues. And it's like, it works to a point and then it detracts from it to a point. So it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a meme, it's like Endor. And it's, Cassian walking alone, that shot of him walking alone. And then it was like Endor if it was done by Dave Filoni. And it was Cassian. And then just a bunch of other things from every other show just all around him. Because, like, that's all this is about. Like, we see the space whales in episode 2 that were in Rebels and just
the fucking squid that was in the...
Yeah, they're these space whales, these interstellar whales. Yeah, there's all this, that's all stuff from Rebels. And so it's like, wow, like me watching, I'm like, oh shit, it's the space whales. That's cool. But at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, but Easter egg after Easter egg ain't gonna give me a story, like...
That's all I'm saying, Ben. It just feels very side questy, and perhaps that's what people are looking for. But it's like, what?
How are people...
What are we doing? Where are we going? What's the point?
I saw someone saying this is true. The first season, the second season started off the same way. It was a lot of side questy nonsense. And then it turned into a really dope second season that we all loved.
Correct.
So there's hope. And all right, before we go back to the episodes, we are still off them. Let me say that is my one hope for this season, right? Because I feel like this season is about the Mando Jin learning that this cult he's grown up in is not the way. That it is kind of a hot mess.
I hope he learns.
And that would hopefully explain a lot of the foolishness, because honestly, this man comes off like just a pure silly idiot in these first 2 episodes. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, especially about the second one, because I know y'all haven't seen that one. But there's just the second one.
Yeah.
There is so many poor choices,
Yeah.
and he has to be saved.
Like we're not gonna spoil like specific story arcs or anything like that, but we're just gonna speak to terms about
Poor.
choices.
And
Like the way shit feels and the characters and things like that. We'll talk about that. But
and it made me think because normally in a dramatic series, comedy, whatever, your lead protagonist is supposed to be someone you can rally behind, someone who makes choices
I still
that
feel that way.
move the story along, etc. But I'm also wondering, is this like kind of a meta flip on it or commentary on that? Because we're following a man who's kind of like ridiculously foolish. Like, I mean, it's not even
You felt like he was I mean, I think
oh my God, in the second episode, this man
foolish
made he almost gets himself killed twice.
I know. But listen, I wonder if it's so much just foolishness or just foolishness for sake of religion, right? Because
There's
that whole
but-
way of the Mando is religion, and he's just following it under faith alone, and it's just like really.
So are we going to explore that is the question.
Maybe. I mean, we're witness. I will let you guys know now, like the first 2 episodes does not answer that question whatsoever. And now I understand why they gave us the first 2 episodes, because it's just like first 2 episodes probably don't mean shit in the grand scheme. I'm really hoping that's what it is, because if all of the season is like this, then I'm just like, what's the point?
Let's talk. All right, let's talk about. All right, this is something going back to something I liked about the first episode. Right.
All right.
The first episode opens up with this really dope scene of the armorer, making a new helmet, and you are led to think that this is a flashback, and they are making the helmet for young Mando because there's this whole ceremony. They put the helmet on this kid for the first time who needs a haircut before he's gonna put this helmet on. If he never gonna take this shit off again.
First episode, I thought that was the second.
What's that?
Now I'm
first
thinking.
I thought that was the first.
I don't listen. This shit was so blurry at this point.
All right. Well, anyway, in this scene, you're led to believe that this is that, but then there's just like all this foolishness that happens in this same scene.
Oh yeah, this scene was stupid. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Where it's just like,
why is this happening?
It makes the Mandalorians just look like idiots. And beyond that, like I said, not only does it make them look like idiots, once again, it goes back to, I guess maybe that's what it's setting up, because, our lead character acts like a complete idiot. All right, now this is something that I know happens in the damn first episode, right? In the first episode, my man goes to Grief Karga and is like, yo, fam, I need IG-11 back. He the only droid I can trust, even though I hated this nigga up until the moment he blew his ass up for me. But, now he's the only one I can trust. Everybody and their mama tell him, yo, what the fuck, dog? Yo, what the fuck? You can get any droid, dog. You can get any droid. Any droid. Any droid. This nigga's like, nah, fam, I'm going to get Grief Karga.
I need that
I'm going to get IG-11 back. I'm going to get this murdering ass assassin droid.
Oh, Iggy coming back.
Iggy coming
Iggy
back,
Pop.
baby. Iggy Azalea back up in this hoe.
Not Azalea? No.
Yeah, and they get this hoe back. It turns into the Terminator in like the cheapest. Oh my God! Yes, we've all seen Terminator. John Favreau.
It was real
like
cheap.
We've all seen it. We get it. So it's a murderous robot. So it looks like the Terminator grown. All right. So then he makes the dumb '80s joke about the that's using your head.
Yeah.
Like,
But not only that, Ben. Just now that I'm thinking of it, the shit that you said earlier, where episode 2 erases episode 1, and how we said before.
That's exactly what I'm talking
remember how
about.
we said before, the season, the one season erased the other 2 seasons? Literally, the last 30 minutes erases what happened in the first 30 minutes. Because all that fucking searching going on for Iggy doesn't matter. Because he just gets a different droid and says, and that's the end of that. Like, I was like, so what were we doing? What were we doing? What were we doing? What was the reason?
But and then back to Grief Karga, who is like, yo, fam, why don't you just retire? Why don't you just set up with your kid? I'll give you the nice land.
He said, set up like your boy Thanos did. Eat some plantains. Look at the purple hills and live life. Live off the fat of the land.
And I get it. He's like, no, but it's like he doesn't. does he want to lead the Mandalorians? Because he has the darksaber, right? Which is why Boca Town looks at this man like he is utterly crazy. Because she knows that you can't just give the darksaber to someone, right? That's the thing. It cannot just be taken. It has to be fought for.
And it shows that nigga don't know how to use it.
Yeah,
Like,
the nigga
he
still
does
don't know
not.
how to use it. He's still learning to use it. She damn sure knows how to use it. Boca Town gets busy with the darksaber.
Facts.
So it's like, what does he want? He wants to be back in his little cult, who is all damn near dead at this point. Remember that? Like, there's it's a few of them, still standing. They trying to get a new kid in. They getting served and eaten up left and right. So
I don't like that lady that's like the head of the cult. I don't like that lady.
The armorer.
The armorer. The what you call her?
The armorer.
Oh, the armorer. That's her name. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Don't
questionable.
Like
Very questionable. And Favreau and them have talked about that. Like, is the armorer, what does she know? What do they know? What are they, are they leading them right? But do they? Or are they trapped on the same thing? Right? Are they just part of this cult? And so they're like, yo, this is the way it was. This is the way it was. Yo, fam, you got to go bathe in the waters of Minnetonka, fam. That's the only way
That's
to save guys. Yeah.
I don't know. I always feel like, especially when it's like, it seems very, what's the word? It's very predictable that the person in charge really knows what's up, and it's just trying to keep the wheels turning. Like, I feel like she know what up, and she's just playing the game.
That'd be too predictable. I would like it if she just is blinded by it, just like everyone else. This is all she knows. So she's like, yo, we got to keep this going, fam, because this is it.
Then how did you become the leader? Like, the leader always knows something someone else doesn't know.
Well, most of them is dead, too.
Well, that too.
Yeah, that's how she became the leader. All the others died.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like you said, the things I like, and again, I'm just trying to keep it not spoilery, but just generally, like, we talked about Boca Town, the god. Like, y'all gonna see her get busy, as Ben Ami said. I just like her. I just like that character so much. I like the presence of every time Boca Town's on screen, there's presence and there's regality and there's all this other stuff. Fine, whatever. Carl Weathers, fucking hilarious. The way he's carrying on. The man, what do you call him? He's not high counsel, whatever his name, whatever his title is. Like
Grand High,
whatever they like. The nigga's a pimp, okay? The man is
walk like a pimp, talk
when
like
you see him again, and he walking around like, he got the world, right? So that's cool. Grogu, cutest fucking. Go ahead.
He has droids carrying his cape. Shout out to that. And I loved it because when he comes down the stairs, you hear them clunk down the stairs behind him. And I was like, hold up. Those are little 2 droids carrying the edges of his cape.
It's cute.
Ballin'!
It's very ball. It reminds me of when I went to the Bad Boys concert a few years back. And Diddy and one other person had on this black mink, and it had a 20-foot train, and they had 2 women holding the end of it. And I just thought it was the funniest thing. That's what it reminded me of.
Amazing.
It was actually kind of cool. Continuing, Grogu, cutest fucking thing. This cutest fucking thing. There's some weird shit, silly shit happens. Like, there's some weird practical effect that happens a few times where I'm just like, this doesn't look right. But I'll get into that later. Yeah, I'll get into that later. But Grogu I love Grogu. Fine.
I'm getting tired of that little man.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, it's running. It's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like.
That's fair.
But no, wait, no, I can't lie though, because in episode 2, Grogu pulled some moves that made me love him all over again. I can't lie. Yeah.
Grogu's cute. Like, I feel like
it's not Grogu's fault.
It's not. I feel like even when you think like, oh, I'm over this little thing, he does something that's wild cute, and it's like, all right, I understand.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a baby.
He is.
He's a baby. I like, anytime they in space and some space shit is happening, I liked it. Like, we talking about dog fighting in space, space fights, all that shit is great to me. I love seeing instant deaths, in the galaxy. That shit's
Mando bodies like 7 or 8 people in the first episode.
Nigga! Like and it's quick. Bop,
left
bop,
and right.
Bop, bop, blam. Yeah. Like he blamming on niggas. So
blamming.
That was fine.
I mean, he dropped them pirates with no problem, son. Left 4 bodies in the street right there. And Grief was like, yo, send a droid to pick this trash up.
Listen, I'm
He
trying
was like,
to not
send a
say
droid.
specifics.
He literally said that, dog. He said, send a droid to pick this trash up.
This was, I'm as I'm thinking of it, I'm kind of leaning towards a dislike, but this is more of a like and a dislike. And this is my question to you, Ben. I mean, is this supposed to feel more like the original Star Wars trilogies, just in terms of the level of effects and the way it looks? Like it's new old look? Because, like, for example, these two episodes particularly, they pull on a lot of the I don't even want to call it the bestiary, but the different races of aliens that you've seen in like the original trilogy. Like almost, I feel like damn near all of them popped up all of a sudden in the first two episodes.
Yeah, but also we see aliens from the last Skywalker.
Okay, that too.
Yeah,
but
Babu
like,
Frick's people.
Yeah, and yeah, Babu Frick's, right. And you see these beings all like pop up, like literally, it's just you just turn around, they're there, and they're everywhere. And my point toward that is, you see like there's clearly lots of puppetry, right? Like Grogu himself is a puppet, and I mean, and when I say a puppet, I mean literal. It's a puppet, right? It's a puppet machine, and it's practical effects being used more so than, I mean, there's digital effects too, but it's also practical effects being used. But it has this like fake look to it. But I could tell like it's purposeful fake. And I'm just like, are they trying to make it seem new old because of the time period it takes place in?
That's
in the Star Wars timeline.
There was like a mix of practical and CGI in this. And I think one thing is I have not really talked about Endor that much during this review, thankfully. But one thing that Endor is doing that the rest of Mando and Boba Fett have not been doing is they're shooting on sets and not in, I can't remember the actual name for it. They have a name for the dome garage thing that they're shooting all these shows in. Basically, they're shooting Mando and Boba Fett in these domes.
The Thunderdome?
It's basically a Thunderdome that's covered in screens. So you can create any background or anything you want.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, super cool. But at the same time, when you watch Endor and see something that actually uses sets and other CGI tricks to make these larger than life things, it really blows it away, man. It makes it where like Boba Fett and Mando look. And then I will say though, I really love the practical effects on like the pirates, like the makeup on the pirates.
Okay,
incredible.
Makeup look good.
Incredible makeup on the pirates, especially I want to see that Swamp Thing grand pirate they had show up for like 5
But you know what
seconds.
that was? That was the nigga from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's a space version.
Same thing.
It was the same nigga.
Yeah.
Covered in vines instead of the tentacles.
Yep. So I want to see him again because I love the effects on him and all that. But then like you had the little monkey lizard things, which one of them is named Salacious Crumb, and Salacious Crumb was
What a
Jabba the
name.
Hutt's. Yeah, I know, Salacious Crumb.
Salacious.
I mean, look, Star Wars has the best names of all time. There's no contest, Ask Chico Leo, asked anyone about some of the more ridiculous ones. Mello was telling me some one time that I can't even believe. But Salacious Crumb is the little monster lizard monkey thing that we see a group of them sitting in the trees.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Babu Fritz. But one of those is Jabba the Hutt's little dude. And so it really like that's when Star Wars gets weird, right? Because it's like that dude seems to be intelligent in Return of the Jedi, but there's a bunch of them just hanging out in the trees like they're monkeys. So that's why when Star Wars sometimes it's like they just want to insert things and it's like, but did you really think that through?
And that's why I said kind of like in this.
Or did Jabba the Hutt just have a monkey sitting next to him
Yeah.
who we thought was intelligent because there was a monkey?
But that's why I said like and dislike, because it's like if like on the one hand it's like, all right, y'all, you trying to insert all this stuff and Easter eggs and whatever, but then I'm just like, does that make sense? You just threw that, and it feels like the episode stuff. Like, did you just throw that in there just for shits and giggles? Like, I don't
like the Babu
get
Fritz
it.
people who I didn't bother to Google to learn what their alien race is because I seriously doubt we're gonna see them again.
But I forgot the name until you said it. I was like,
I know
that is
his name.
niggas.
Yeah, I don't know what the race of the aliens is, but Babu
Yeah.
Frick. And it was like that was the one thing that most people liked about Rise of the Star
I
Wars.
loved Babu Frick.
I mean, it was like whatever, I guess. So I didn't need to
Yeah.
see a whole group of them fixing an IG. It was like, But
And then speaking, what was they?
just gutter talk. I mean, like I like that scene. The scene was kind of hilarious. Just seeing, Mando all cramped up in there with them.
Yeah. Not gonna talk.
I don't know,
Listen to their jungle music. That's what you gonna say next.
a pigeon English.
I was like, what are you saying?
Patois.
But I understood him perfectly. But I guess that was a joke, right?
That was a joke. Yeah, that was a joke. Because everyone understood him perfectly. But yeah, that's the joke.
I don't know. Wait, did you just say they were speaking patois?
Yeah. One man.
The whole Caribbean's coming after you, but I mean, for that shit, the whole West Indians.
You see the Z-Way episode with your boy with Chet Hanks on it?
Oh yeah, yes. It's like, are you dead ass right now? But
I'm a Chet Hanks stan over here, so keep going, brother.
What?
The man's living his life unapologetically. How do we get from Babu Frick to Chet Hanks is the question.
Okay. We gotta get back into... I mean, is our reaction right now indicative of how we felt about these two episodes?
Pretty much, man.
It was just there. Like,
that man wasted all that time trying to get IG-88 back together, killed that nigga, and kept it moving.
You know what? I think that's what... It was time wasting. I didn't feel like... I just wanted it to make it worthwhile. Y'all niggas ignored and erased shit that happened to very forcefully bring these two back together. Okay. Give me a reason.
Nah.
And there's like, no, at least the first two episodes, we just fucking around right now. And I'm like, why are you wasting my time? And I really, to your point, Ben, I really hope, because the other season started like this, that next time we see them, it's like, okay, there's a reason.
The reason is
there was a mention of Moff Gideon. I'm like, okay, that he's gonna come back.
Oh no, that's all right. No, that nigga locked up. That's the end of that.
Okay.
Moff done.
Okay, well then fuck it. Like, okay, Boca Town? All right. The whole show can be, well, it could revolve around Boca Town.
It's don't be about Bo and his beef. That is eventually gonna turn to beef because Bo wants that saber,
Okay.
And she gonna get tired of this dude fucking around doing nothing with it. So she gonna have to take it back at some point. So that's gonna be the problem.
So Bo's the audience. I'm tired of not doing nothing. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
There is a straight up look. I can't remember which episode. Bo gives him the vicious side eye, and I was fully agreeing because it's episode 2, right? Where she gives him this look where I'm just like, oh my God, you are reading my mind right now, shorty. Because this man is a pure idiot. And Bo has to save him twice in episode 2. Twice in one episode. Like, he'd be dead. The show would be over and it would be the Boca Town show if she did not choose to save this man. The book of Boca Town.
Grogu.
Yeah, which I would much prefer to watch at this point. The book of Boca Town featuring Grogu. Because I just can't get over, like, okay, I get what his plan is. And I get what the show's plan for him for the season is.
His plan is to
redeem himself.
Redeem his sins. He's an apostate.
Yes.
He's got to fix it.
And you just don't bring this kid along with you? Is the kid about to be a Mandalorian? Is that what it is? So you're like, okay, I could be a Mandalorian, and then the kid could be one too?
Well, from what we see, the kid is, like, again, that's just a child. Bring your child to work day, I feel, because Grogu's a little self-sufficient now. Like,
yeah, but Grogu, all kids got to come into this. You don't. He's a Mando, right? He's his son. They got to come up in it. Got to get the helmet, bro.
Does he though?
Yes.
But I thought the way Mando treats him like he's his own race.
I mean, I guess
like he's not gonna force him into the Mando way. He's just his dad.
But the Mandos are not a race; they are just a cult.
You know what I mean? It's a cult.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All races get forced into this cult, baby.
Oof.
Get down or lay down.
But how when your home world's destroyed? I don't know.
What? Grogu's world?
No.
Yeah, I mean, but it's been destroyed.
Mandalore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you ain't got no home base, nigga. Like, y'all got no flagship store. How are you doing this? Like,
they got a cave and a beach.
Just okay. Well,
and that castle, the castle that Boca Town is in, that hallway, for anyone who's seen Rebels and Clone Wars, shit goes down in that hallway, boy. So you already know when they showed you this hallway, shit is gonna go down again.
You're making me feel like this is commercial to go watch Clone Wars. Like, I would get more out of it if I just.
I mean, you would, but you wouldn't, because you would get like, damn, I've seen this before and better. You know, like,
Oh,
yeah, that'd be the problem because it's like you get all these references, sure, but so far at least, and like I say, it's so far. You know, we'll have to see how this season turns out because look, there's the first season of Rebels. You know, to a lot of people, it's kind of shaky. I loved it. First season of Clone Wars is super shaky. You know, so these things take time sometimes. I didn't. I mean, I fell off Bad Batch, and people are saying that's pretty fire now. So
maybe. The first 2 episodes of Mandalorian season 3 is a lot of rehash and retread. As I'm thinking through it,
I mean, it's ridiculous amount of.
It's throwing in Easter eggs and references, and I'm not sure there's a true point besides, hey, we're back. Look at us. And
remember me.
But I also feel like, why waste, like, there's not that many episodes, right? It's always 9 episodes a season or something like that.
Jeez.
Why are we wasting 2 of them? Like, and I'm gonna look this up real quick, but like, what?
And that's the problem too, because not only are you like, remember me, a lot of this remember me, you'll never see again. We are never gonna see IG-11 again. I honestly thought after he crushed his head, he would be like, all right, we gotta fix him and get him right. No, that's the end of that. He crushed his head. That was it. Okay. You know, we're never going to see Grief Karga again, I doubt. We'll probably see these pirates again. They seem to be the big, you know,
bad.
They're
coming back. Oh, and it's 8 episodes. My apologies.
Wow.
Each season's 8. So you've already burned 2.
Eesh. There's only 6 Modis. Eesh.
But not, and for all we know, the next 6 are fucking phenomenal. But I'm like, but we wasted 2 precious episode. It felt, I'm not gonna hold you, it felt like a waste. And a lot of the shit that occurred across 2 episodes could have just occurred in 1. It was shit that could have been cut out. Like, we didn't need to see.
This was the quantum mania of the
disappoint. Oh yeah, big hype but disappointing.
And it's a time waste. Like, a lot of time waste because the things that happened in Quantum Mania pretty much happened in Loki already. We've already seen this happen once.
Ouch.
Boca Town was good.
Mm-hmm. And you were right, Ben, when they were making when you said earlier in our review, when they were making the scene where they were making the helmet, that was episode 1.
Oh, good. So I can talk about it. Why the hell were these idiots on the beach with this? Like, they didn't know that big ass dragon. The alligator dragon. That shit had to have been there for a long time. Ain't no way you didn't know this big ass dragon was out there. So you just don't have your ceremony right there with your the greatest warriors in the universe. How many of them got killed in that scene?
It just felt like you said, it made them look incompetent. Like
incompetent.
But okay, so what? You know what? I even give it to them. That happens sometimes, right?
No.
No, listen. You in Star Wars and a fucking alligator pops up. Okay, whatever the fuck. Let's let it ride. Let it rock.
Yep.
But the way it was handled just seemed
they got really served.
Abominable. Like, it was just abysmal. I'm just like, I thought, no, y'all niggas is the greatest in the, y'all the hunters, y'all this, y'all that. And granted, yes, this was a big motherfucker, but y'all handle shit worse
y'all
than
gotta
this.
be ready, fam.
But I felt like we seen them handle worse, and we seen Mando himself handle shit worse by himself. And maybe with one other person helping. There was 50 of these niggas. It was like D-Day. I was like, what is going on?
Left and right.
People getting served left and right. Niggas getting ate. I was just like, how is this happening? And that's another thing. Y'all all got jetpacks. After 20 niggas got ate, they said, take to the skies. What?
A little late for that.
Like, I understand because the alligator was coming close real fast. All right. And y'all was trying to get the young ones back. Understood. The little niggas ain't got the jetpacks, maybe. Okay. But what is going on?
Have you ever been somewhere where they be like, yo, there's sharks in that water, right? And you're like, all right, I'm
not going in that bitch.
Like these niggas have obviously no, dog. Like, the levels of incompetence to take a little kid out there who is not ready for nothing. Where you gotta know this thing is huge. It would make so much noise even if it never surfaced. You would be like, yo, there's something in that fucking lake we cannot fuck with, fam. Nope, these niggas was just like, whatever. Out it comes.
I'm seeing
slaughters
a
these
pattern.
niggas left and right.
I'm seeing a pattern in the shows we're watching where like characters are uncharacteristically doing really stupid shit, and it's just like for
Eesh.
what? And it's manufactured drama, but it doesn't even feel like drama. It just feels silly.
It feels silly. But this is even more silly because at least in that case, in the case of The Last of Us, it's the villains. Even though it's been twice in one season, we've had these idiotic villains, so it's really starting to make no sense. But this is really weird because it's just so
weird.
Unusual to see your protagonist be a complete moron.
It's like, why y'all get served like that?
And the people he wants to be a part of are complete morons. And everyone looks at them like they're complete morons. Boca Town, I love that. That was one of my favorite moments in the series when Boca Town first met him and she was like, oh, you're one of them. Oh my God, you're one of those morons who walks around with their helmet on all day and talks about this is the way. You know what I mean? So that was like when she first met him in season 2, that was one of my favorite moments because it also resolved that big question that all of us had been watching was like, wait a minute, what's this? This is the way? Where's all this bullshit come from? They ain't never said none of that in Clone Wars or Rebels. And then suddenly this dude talking about this is the way and he never takes his helmet off. I've seen everybody take their helmet off. So that was such a great moment because she was like, look at this idiot. And so it's so weird to watch a show where the hero is like constantly people are like, look at this idiot. Grief Karga like, God damn fam, retire, you idiot. No, you gonna go back and be with those idiots over there? They getting their kids eaten up by dragons. Like
I was a dragon at the end of the day.
Like that's what but the sad thing is this is the same scene we saw before with the Tusken Raiders and the Crate Dragon. We've already seen him come through and save some people from a big ass dragon.
Retread and rehash. Did I not say that?
This is getting to be Thor Love and Thunder levels of
No, don't say that. No. That's bottom of the barrel.
Fam,
you can't.
It's
you can't
getting
get
there. I'm not saying it's there yet, but it's getting
2 out
there.
of 8 episodes. We can't say that.
I know, but the level of insulting your intelligence, like the whole IG, fam, my man wasted all that. Like, okay, let's go back to that. Right, this man hates droids. Like, cannot trust them. Hates them all. Sure, this one self-destructed in a lava pit. Remember that, right?
He wasn't
self-destructed,
but on behalf of Grogu.
Yeah, to save you. But no, lest we forget, self-destructed in a lava pit. And so you go back to that and like, that's the one I'm gonna put back together.
Hey
like,
man, he saw the statue, was like, oh, we could rebuild this.
Like in a lava pit, self-destructed. And somehow you think you're gonna put that one together. And then you don't trust no droids for shit. But as soon as this one don't work out for you, you're like, all right, fuck it. I'll just take the next droid that the next droid somebody tries to sell me.
It was bizarre. And it was like clearly like not a good choice. And it's like, well, this is the one I'm gonna take. And I'm like, are you poor? Like, I don't understand. Like, you have no other choice. Like, I thought you had the coins. What are we doing? Are you a poor? Like, that's how he was acting like a poor. And it's just, I thought you, whatever. And also like, to be friends with someone like Grief Karga, who is high magistrate, who literally is telling you, I'm rolling in the dough. He's rolling in the dough. And he says to him, as you mentioned earlier, whatever the fuck you want, I'm just give it to you. You couldn't go back to Mans and said, wait a minute. Grief said I will give you any motherfucking one. I will give you a brand new shiny, whatever the fuck you need. And he says, no. I'm a poor. And then after Iggy don't work out, you don't turn around back to Grief and be like, well, about that, about the loaner you said you was going to give me earlier. Can I make good on that? Like, no, it's just like, all right, well, I guess that's not happening.
Let me go take this broke ass droid. Like,
what? Okay.
Because we saw that broke ass droid in the first season or second, whenever. So now we got it. I mean, I still don't understand the decision to blow up his ship and give him this other ship.
I forgot why he blew up his ship.
No, it got blown up.
Oh, it got blown up. Excuse me.
Yeah,
all right.
It got blown up.
It got blown up.
But I mean, I'm talking about the writers. Like, why did they blow up the ship to give him this one? Like, I get it because this is once again yet another callback to the prequels. This is a prequel era ship, so it's like, remember me?
Do you like his new old ship?
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, it's just fire.
Yeah,
shit fire. Shit move real good too. I like it.
Yeah. And the way they
it's cooler than his older ship.
Yeah. Well, no, his whole shit was pretty fire too. The Razor Crest was fire.
Well, it was fire, but I mean, just in terms of the maneuverability and the things that shit can
Yeah.
do, like,
But
it's
this
cool.
nigga's a bounty hunter. This nigga needs
Yeah.
space for his bounty. Like he got a one-man ship now. Like what? Like
He's moving like a floor. Come on, man.
how are you gonna
He got
catch
no
anything?
room.
Yeah, nothing. You
He's
can't
fucking flying in an efficiency, bro.
But
You had a penthouse and you are now in an efficiency.
this nigga got a
Ain't
studio
no way.
apartment.
Ain't no way, fam. The oven is in the bathroom. Like, there's
Not-
no fucking way.
Not the efficiency. That brings me back to the towers.
Don't say that's Howard University. That's freshman year.
I never heard that word until I got to Howard.
Me neither. That's how I know.
I was like, what's an efficiency?
What?
What? Oh,
Bro,
I guess it's efficient, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what they mean. That's all it is.
Mando's journey to bathe in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Oh my God.
And all the dumb shit he does to prepare himself to get there is one of the things I did not like. And as I mentioned, the series is just starting to feel like it's just there to placate people who want more Grogu instead of actually telling a new story.
And it's like, all right, like I said, I have not talked about Andor much during this review. And we did do.
You kept mentioning it, though.
I mean, yeah, but I haven't really brought up like the
No,
fact
you haven't.
how good that show is. And so while Mandalorian is a completely different type of show, Mandalorian is a spaghetti western inspired by Lone Wolf and Cub. But Lone Wolf and Cub, the manga, is a very long running manga that is, pretty dope and is not some simple shit. Even the movies that come out of it, the Assassins, I can't remember the one day. Oh, Jesus, I can't remember the name of this shit right now, but they directly referenced it with Luke Skywalker with the ball and the sword. Like that was, that's direct reference to this film. And these are a series of film. And even though they're martial arts movies, they're pretty dope and pretty deep. So this is like Andor being this incredible take on Star Wars, where it's really making a really adult take on Star Wars, where it's really showing you that there is no black and white, that the rebellion and the empire both have shades of gray to them.
They're both dead ass wrong in some ways.
Yeah, in some ways. It's so ill. And like, while I'm not expecting that from Mandalorian, even as a spaghetti western, when you have things like Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood's brilliant movie, which really deconstructs spaghetti westerns after he starred in, so many of them throughout his career.
Mm-hmm.
When you've had movies like that, when you've had movies like the coward, the assassination by the coward, I can't remember the long name of that movie. But when you've had all these 315 to Yuma, like there's all these different films.
310, yeah.
310, like where it's like you could do more with what Mando is doing. That's
we've
my thing.
seen, and not only that, we've seen it.
Yeah, and then when
we've seen him do more,
is really doing so much more. But like you said, it feels like the natural conclusion of this series was him handing off the child. But I get it because people are wondering, oh, well, what happens to Grogu after that? He dies.
Okay, then what happens to Grogu? Not,
or
this.
Or maybe they go on, eventually they come back together, not like they're just back together and he's like, hey.
Nigga, Grogu met your girl that we have yet to see the show.
Yep.
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Why we're not going through that down that
why doesn't
tunnel?
Grogu go off with Ahsoka? Yeah.
Like, we could, if you wanted to retcon it, retcon that. Like, I think you're right, Ben. This was the Quantum Mania. So far.
We're just 2 episodes in.
So far. Cautiously saying this because this could be
it could turn into the most fire shit ever, and we'll be back here eating our words in a couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm prepared for that, but I'm also prepared. Y'all scaring me.
Let's wrap this up, B.
Wrap it up. You was left out bad and bougie. What are you looking forward to? Ben,
a plot.
And there it is. Like that's all I got. I'm done.
I'm looking forward to a plot for real. I'm looking forward to this man not being a complete idiot. Like I said, there are things about the second episode I do not want to spoil, but oh my God, it is like Jesus Christ. Like, why are we supposed to believe that this dude is someone we should be following? This man is a pure
It's
clown.
It's more so. Is this the same nigga that was doing the cool shit he was doing season 1 and 2, or
this nigga turned into a pure idiot? And it's like, that's the thing, is that everyone is telling you you're an idiot. And instead of being like, hey, you're right, maybe I should learn something. No, I'm going to double down on my idiot. Ugh. So the story could happen. Shout out to Pitch Meeting because, that's, why did he do all this stupid stuff? So the story could happen, That's all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a plot. I'm looking forward to, some more Grogu action. I'm really looking forward to Boca Town serving Mando and taking that saber bat from him. I'm praying that's where this goes. Please don't let this fool carry the saber around for too much longer, man. That shit is too dope to be in the hands of this clown. No shot.
There's infinite. As I said when I finished watching Rogue One a few years back, there is infinite ways these stories can now go. Please stop retreading. Stop it. I want this to stop. I want y'all to do some new shit. You can do fucking anything.
And with that, I'm going to say, you should watch Rebels, you should watch Clone Wars, but Tatiana, you've got to watch Endor. You've got
to watch Endor. I've got to watch it. I hear you.
To watch Endor.
Because of this, I'm going to force it to make sure it gets done or started halfway this weekend, because there ain't no way, bro.
No, you got to watch it. And for everyone out there who hasn't seen Endor, please watch it, because it is nowhere near the hit that Mandalorian is, and it's already guaranteed its second and only season, so they don't have to worry about being canceled or anything, but I just think it is so phenomenal, and if you're watching Mandalorian, you should be watching Endor, and if you have time, you should also go back and check Clone Wars and Rebels, because when they are on fire, they are some of the best Star Wars has ever done, and if you love Boca Town, she shines. Like, that's why I fell in love with her, was throughout those series, like. And just the whole history of Mandalore and the Mandalorians is so explored so well and told so well. You get to see Mandalore in all its glory before all this happens. You get to see all these different sides to them, the pacifist side to them, which, seems unlikely seeing this. And then the Death Watch, which we've seen, that's part of what Mando is from, is the Watch. And so you see all these different sides. You just see all, like you said, infinite ways to tell a story in Star Wars has been done in Rebels and Clone Wars. So I have hope for this because I trust in Dave Filoni. My man has never really steered me wrong over a whole season of any show.
It just scares shit like this scares me, because it's like, what if he came up to us and was just like, so what'd you guys think? And I'm like, that was something. Like,
yeah, but I'd be honest, I could be honest with Dave.
No, I know, but like, how do you be honest? Also, I'm not going to say this was trash, because it wasn't. It's just like,
no,
I would be like, what was your point?
Yeah,
the first two episodes,
and then he would probably explain it in a way where I think it's like, well, we haven't been on the air for a while, so we need to catch people up who haven't seen it or who
one episode.
I get it, but maybe they felt like you needed a little bit more, and then also the second episode is starting to get into what is the plot. Like I feel like his ignorance and stupidity in the second episode, especially, is going to come back and be a major part of the plot for the season. If then it's not...
This is the 65th time you call him idiot.
Look, man, my man made so many... Look, the second episode, it's like he'd be dead. Like we said, it'd be a different show right now. But like I say, if that is addressed through the rest of the season, this should be a really brilliant season. Yeah. If it's not addressed, wow.
Yeah.
All
right. I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm done. Tell the people where they can find us, Ben.
All right, you can make sure you can find us on all the better podcast platforms out there. Make sure you follow at For All Nerds, Noids, For All Nerds on all your better podcast platforms. Of course, you can also find us where you can see our beautiful faces and our smiles and all the fresh dip gear we're wearing on YouTube. Just search for All Nerds TV. Hit the follow on there. Also, twitch.tv/ twitch.tv/forallnerds. Follow on there because you'll see us live doing shows live. I'll be on there DJing sometimes. In fact, if you catch this on Friday, March 3rd, 2023, Friday night, I'll be live because it's De La Soul Day. We're paying tribute to De La Soul all day. Make sure you're streaming De La Soul all day, and then come catch us on twitch.tv/forallnerds that night for a special DJ set from your boy. Now, since I was pointing at it, you can go to forallnerds.com and get ill-ass designs like this one I'm wearing right here, which is not available just yet. This is an exclusive.
Slide to the side for a minute so people can see it.
Woo! That's right. It's Lionel Richie, done by the one and only Latina Scribbles. This is the amazing design coming very soon. We have this. Let me show it to them. Let me give them a quick preview of this other.
Oh, that's just
right
too
here.
fire.
Quick preview of this one right here. You can tell them who this one is and what
Look!
it's about.
Look! It's Kiki! Shout out to Kiki Palmer, who also had her baby.
Yes. Congratulations. And that is done by Stretch Sawyer. That is our Nope design featuring It's Kiki Palmer, baby. And that's going to be super limited, just like this Lionel Richie design. Probably going to be super limited as well. So head over to forallnerds.com. Get the designs that are already up. Make sure you sign in. Leave your email on forallnerds.com. That way, when these go up, you will get the email blast immediately. Because like I say, I don't know how long Jordan Peele going to let us run with that Nope one. Look, so you better get your ass on that shit quickly.
Yeah, he coming after us. I don't know.
He might come after us, but it might get him on the show. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe. Hey, yo, we need to send that t-shirt to Lionel Richie.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.